Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Tactical Leader. Today is going to be a solo cast with yours truly. It's been a while since I've released one of these outside of one of my events or some of the workshops that I've been putting more content out about. So I'm really excited to kind of dive into just some thoughts that I've been carrying on a couple different things, and then highlighting some of the amazing pieces of Stephen Carpitella and his conversation that we had this past Monday, leading into some really cool stuff happening this Friday. But overall, before I dive into that, I'll remind that this show is brought to you by Nightly Productions. If you're ready to discover, embrace, and share your voice, head over to nightly.productions. Find out a few things that we're doing are attached to creating that voice and helping you really feel empowered in creating the conversations and the topics that you're wanting to. Again, that's nightly.productions to find out how you can create that tactical content that delivers. The conversation I had with Carp, great one. He and I met. It's been several months ago, so this has been on the calendar for a while now. But really glad we were able to finally get it knocked out. And we met at a soccer game that he was nice enough to host me at here in Atlanta. He's up a Jersey boy, but his headquarters for the company EPM is down here in Atlanta. So he was down for a game, and he was nice enough to host me in the EPM suite at the stadium, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium down here. And honestly, it's funny. He talked a little bit about his favorite hobby and his second job being surfing. And you think of a surfer dude, right? You think about some different pieces, and it makes me laugh because he is truly one of those surfer bros, good people, super laid back, relaxed, but get stuff done. And I love that aspect of who he is as a whole and how he carries that into EPM and everything that they're doing as a whole. If you're not familiar, EPM is a lender for mortgages and helps people in different pieces attached to really focusing on empowering mortgage lending and helping people in different capacities. And they have a different approach to things that I really get fascinated by when I was talking to Carp. And it really came out in the conversation that we had, focused on communication and not return on investment, but really return on intention, and having a lot of awareness attached to everything we do as individuals. And it's funny, he mentioned words, and I've been asked by an accountability partner here in the last few weeks what my word of the year for 23 is. And my word of the year for 2022 is intentionality, and really being focused on and being very intentional about everything I was doing. Awareness might be another good one. I'm really chewing on that heading into the new year. By the time this releases, it should be drawing pretty close to it. So hopefully by the time y'all hear and listen to this, I've already got one picked out. But really, awareness is a big one. And I love the way he highlighted that without awareness, there's really nothing else, and you can't really even be intentional until you have an awareness. And it's fascinating to me how much that really rings true to me because of that intentionality that I had this year. There are a lot of opportunities that arose this year. Has been a crazy one, honestly. Everything from the book being published, most recently the new 501c ATL vets, advancing the line for veterans, different things happening in the business space. But it's been a year. It might be a good episode to really talk about a year in review and talk through a lot of what's happened over this last year, and might record another episode attached to it. And really understanding what I've done this last year and creating that intentionality, but creating it consistently, really being focused on what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, and what my desired result from each piece of the engagement is, and really refocusing that heading into the new year, and closing up some things that don't need to come into the new year with me. So highlighting that awareness was such a great conversation piece with Carp, and really having him explain how he defines communication and words and the words we use and that committed language. And I know I'm really excited to kind of dive into that for Tactical Friday, where we talk about different aspects of how you can be more intentional, how you can really do different pieces attached to it, with being solid in your commitment and being solid with your language and being solid moving forward. And it's really just overall a lot of interesting aspects to think on. Be aware of how we speak to people, be aware of how our relationships are towards people and with people. And it's something that, if you've checked out my book, it's definitely something I've struggled with over the years, but something I'm working on to improve and being intentional about. So as he and I spoke, it really highlighted several things that I'm working on myself and several things that he brings into his world. And then furthering that brings it into his organization, TPM, and everything they're doing, the way they treat their clients. So definitely some fascinating stuff there. I encourage you to go check it out. Something to think about. And I say this, looking into 2023, think about that intentionality as we leave 2022. Have you been intentional? As we enter into 2023, are you opening the door to awareness? Are you opening the door to possibilities heading into 2023? It could be something right in front of you. It's really interesting to see how many folks it's right in front of you, and you might not just be aware. You might be oblivious to it from different pieces, and you just never know what is right in front of your face. So be aware to those heading in 2023, and focus on that. And then, of course, come back this Friday. Come check out what we're going to talk about a little bit more on that communication piece, with being committed to communication, speaking powerfully, and really highlighting how important communication is in the human language, not the English language, human language, when it dives into life and business. So until then, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Really excited to start another year of recordings and really get back into podcasting after I took a couple months off to release the book, and looking forward to many more episodes with y'all.